Round 8, Super Rugby Pacific 2025. It has got some mouth-watering clashes and some which will actually dictate a lot of what goes on onto the table carrying into this second half of the Super Rugby Pacific season. We're going to look at who are the key players in each team, what do those changes mean for the tactics of each side going into the clashes this weekend, and we're also going to be looking at the overall gist of the team, who's getting rested, who's not. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. The weekend starts off in New Zealand and it's the game of the weekend. Hands down, it is the Chiefs hosting the Reds. Number 2 hosting number 1. That's right. Queensland Reds are number 1, top of the log at the minute as it sits. But that is all up for grabs this weekend as the Chiefs look to retake that spot. We're going to start with the home side, and they have got an absolutely stacked side. They are not pulling any punches. But what Clayton McMillan, their coach, has done this week is really gone for that 80-minute performance. Look, they've got the players like Tupo Vai'i, Samisoni Takioho on the bench, Ruben O'Neill, and they've also got their other forward front row, which I have forgotten for the minute. Yep, Aiden Ross, sorry, and who's actually coming to play in Queensland at the end of this season. He's signed for the Reds, which makes him Wallabies eligible for the British and Irish Lions, actually. So lot to go there. Joe Schmidt will be keeping his eye on this one because he's going to be going up against Alex Hodgman, who's going up against him. We're going to go a little bit of a tic-tac back here. So Alex Hodgman, Jeffrey Tumunga-Allen, and the return of Matt Fesler, the Wallaby hooker, it makes for an awesome matchup at the front row. It is going to be heavy lifting there, and that is why Les Kiss has selected such a powerful front row combination. He knows that that's really going to have to be an area that the Reds are going to have to assert some dominancy early. Then you've got Lukan Salakaia-Loto and Josh Canham in the second row. Young and old, both Rebels connections moving on from last year. So they're going to have really good teamwork and synergy, along with the return of Fraser McWright and Harry Wilson in the number 8 jersey, with Joe Bryle shifting to the blindside flank, with Sarah Uru having a break, not injured as far as we know. So that's really, really good to see. You've got Harry McLaughlin-Phillips starting in the 10 jersey, with what it looks like Tom Liner shifting back to the bench. I have a theory here that RA are giving the Reds a little bit of leniency with who they're running with at number 10 at the cutter, because they only have the 2, Harry McLaughlin-Phillips and Tom Liner, and you can't exactly rest Tom Liner for a full game, so that maybe they're getting a little bit of leniency here. Just a theory. We'll see what's happening with that. Then the back line, Dre Pacquiao shifts out one. Hunter Paisami comes back in from having a suspected broken nose. That may still be the case, but he's a tough cookie and he's going to play on through. That means that Filippo Dangunu shifts out to the wing. He's going to be going head-to-head with Leroy Carter and also, obviously, Emoni Narawa on the wings. And then on the other wing, you've got Lockie Anderson and you've got Jeremiah Murray at the back. For the Chiefs, you've got Damian McKenzie at number 10 with Josh Jacob coming off the pine, Gideon Rampling on the bench as well. So this is going to be a really dynamic, moving game. It is not going to be easy at all for either side, going to be gaining some ascendancy. What I think the Chiefs will be looking through is going straight through the center of the Reds. They're going to try to dominate them. They're particularly going to try to bring that aggression and that physical dominance in the second half when the likes of Tupo come on and Samisoni Takioho. It's going to be really important for the Reds to be able to consolidate that. They've got a strong bench too. They've got Ryan Smith on there, Seth Fayangase, Richie Asiata. They're no slouches at all, but I do think the Chiefs have the upper hand in this fight as far as it goes onto the bench. So the Reds will want to make sure that they start well and they retain a lead and they hold it till at least the second stanza in the second half, the fourth stanza rather, and then you want to be making sure, fourth quarter rather, and then you want to make sure that you can just hold on for there, because I do think that the bench in the Chiefs department will win out. As far as prediction goes, the Chiefs at home are an extremely, extremely difficult prospect, but Les Kiss has shown his hand, and so has Clayton McMillan from the Chiefs, that this is a game that matters to both of them. And so they've both gone absolutely full hard leather, straight with their full-on squads, and they're going to go head-to-head, and this is really going to be a test that could actually ultimately decide who sits top of the log coming finals time, and having that home advantage in the final could be the deciding factor, and taking that off the Chiefs would be a major hit to their finals aspirations. It would be a major boost to the Reds. So I do think that it's a flip of the coin, really. It really is. But because Chiefs are at home and the Cowbells are going to be ringing, I'm going to tip the Chiefs to take this one only just. So we've only got one game on Friday, and that means that we've got 4 games on Saturday, no Sunday game. And the first game is going to be early in the afternoon, is going to be the Waratahs heading on over to North Harbour Stadium to take on Moana Pacifica off the back of their historic win over the Crusaders. So the home side, they shift Artie Sevilla to the number 7 jersey. They've got, so I think a lot of All Blacks people will be happy to see him there, because I'm not sure they necessarily see him as an 8 always, but at national level, there's nothing that says that he won't be playing 8, but nevertheless, it's good to see him there. Lalo Miller comes back into the side after a late dropout last week. He goes into 13 with Danny Tuala after an absolute stellar performance, keeping his position in the 12 jersey. And then the excitement man, the man who was on everybody's tip of their tongue at the start of the season, Kyron Tomoefalau, comes back into the 14 jersey. So that's really exciting. That's a real big boost for the Moana Pacifica side, who are already looking deadly without him. Now they've got that added weapon. So Slade retains his spot in the starting lineup, and that actually means that Savage remains on the bench. But they worked really well, and Tom Savage really managed to secure some set-piece dominance in the second half and added some of that experience. So that was really, really good to see. Vice versa for the Waratahs, you've got Tupou and you've got Taniela Tupou going back onto the bench. So this is the first time he's going back onto the bench under the Waratahs time. He started all the rest of the tests alongside Angus Bell, who actually does retain his starting jersey. Ethan Dobbins comes for his starting debut for the Waratahs. Obviously, he's played with the Rebels. He's played a little bit around. But yeah, starting debut for the Waratahs. Hugh Sinclair comes back into the side of the second row, partnering Ben Grant. And then the rest of the side looks almost exactly the same. But you've got Lalakai Feketi at number 12 with Joseph Kuso Suali'i at 15. Not playing 13 like many saw him last week and wanted to see him there, myself included. But Andrew Kellaway comes back into the side with Tristan Riley on the left wing. So that adds a little bit of composure, a little bit of experience, and hopefully a little bit of direction to a Waratahs side that last week looked quite directionless. Lawson Crichton retains his jersey at number 10, despite looking like he was suffering for HIA last week and didn't come back onto the field after that incident. He's going to be going head-to-head with Patrick Pellegrini. So I think on form, Patrick Pellegrini probably takes that 1v1. Now, who's going to win this game? Well, I think that as far as prediction goes, Moana Pacifica are the form side coming into the team. New South Wales haven't particularly travelled well. And you know what? Just for the good stories and good vibes, I'm going to tip. And I do think that they are playing extremely well, and they have been building towards solid form and maintaining that consistency. I'm going to tip the Moana team to be able to take this one from the Waratahs and leave them winless 2 on the trot. The game following that one is that Fiji and Drew are hosting the Crusaders in Fiji, and the Crusaders have never won in Fiji. So this is going to be a really big test for a Crusaders side coming off a big loss to Moana last week. So let's start with the home side. Celestina Ravatai-Munda comes back into the side, and so they're up. That's really exciting for them from an attacking perspective, because we all know that he has absolute jet shoes and he is got lots of speed to burn when he gets into space. Super exciting for him to return. Up front, you've got Donge Head and Ikanevere. They're looking very solid and very settled. That is almost a test starting front row. So that is really exciting for them. And I think the biggest addition really is Vode Nasilasila and Tamani. And then alongside them is Oa Tuwai, who is a coming into his own and finally coming into the squad proper. So that's very exciting. The rest of the backline looks essentially unchanged, with Armstrong Ravula retaining his position, Inaya Tabavo coming in and keeping his spot at outside at 13, and at 12, and outside is Asef Omasi. Karawa Levy retains his side of 15. It's been really interesting to see how he's been going back and forth with Drew Assese, but I do think that Karawa Levy is offering a little bit more of that attacking flair, as we saw him absolutely pick apart the Waratahs when he was playing back over in Australia. And then for the Crusaders, they've brought over a little bit of a mixed team. They've rested a lot of their key players, but it's been really exciting for players who have Fijian heritage, like Severis, who's actually playing at number 13. So he's normally a winger, extremely prolific try scorer on the wing, but now he's shifting to 13 to help out with, I believe it's Braden Enor going back into Dallas McLeod going into number 12, Christian Leowilli playing at number 8, George Barrett at number 1. You've also got Cody Taylor, the captain, alongside him. No Scott Barrett in the side. That was a big surprise. Now, I thought that There are obviously resting policies, but no Scott Barrett is a big out for the Crusaders when they're traveling overseas to such an important game in Fiji, which they've never won. Fletcher Newell is on the bench, and so is James O'Connor, with Tahe Kemera starting at number 10 jersey alongside the young gun, Noah Hotham. So that's really exciting with Macca Springer, the excitement machine, as well, after bagging a 5-try effort a couple of weeks ago against the Force, I believe. So as far as the prediction goes for this game, I do think that the Glenn Jackson, the Fiji coach, has named an extremely strong side, and I do want to say that I do back the Fijian Drua to get another win over the Crusaders at home, and the Crusaders, of course, will be licking their wounds, but I just don't know if they've named the squad necessary and they haven't retained the same amount of integral strength and cohesion in the squad to be able to go over and do it, especially if the conditions are trying. So Fiji and Drua to win this one. The next game we'll be looking at is a big matchup because it will dictate where the Blues go on the table. Are they going to start going up and then stagnate? And are they going to go up and then stall the momentum of the Hurricanes, who they're playing at home, obviously at Eden Park? Or are they going to be losing and going further down the line, allowing the Hurricanes to continue to ascend? So for the Hurricanes, the away side, they are actually playing a mostly settled side with barely any changes throughout the 23, except for at reserve halfback with Villon out of the side, and you've got Etani Enari going to the reserve halfback position. So the Hurricanes look extremely settled. They're going to go in there and believe that they can absolutely romp this Blues side. And I think Clark Laidlaw will be giving them that throughout the week to really rev them up and to say, hey, we're going to go up there to, we're going to go down there to Auckland. Down there? My geography's off. We're going to go up there to Auckland, and we're going to assert ourselves, and we're going to dominate this Blues side who have been coming off a really poor run of form. Vice versa for the Blues. So I think that it's really exciting that he's saying that because they do welcome back a wealth of their All Black talent. So you've got Beauden Barrett coming back into the side, and that is pivotal. You've got AJ Lamb coming back into the back line. You've also got Ricky Telly and Kurt Eklund coming into the side. They will stabilize the front row, and this is really important, especially considering the fact that Ofatunga Fasi is having has a severe neck injury, and he won't be available for the rest of the season. So their front forward pack is really going to have to start to stabilize and really come together as a glue to be able to make sure that their side can be able to get front football, whether it's off set piece or in the loose. So apart from that, you've got Anton Segner at number 6, Dalton Papali at number 7, and Hoskins Satutu at number 8. It is a stellar looking side. You've got Finley Christie at number 9, you've got Rika Ioane at 13, outside AJ Lamb, and then you've obviously got Mark Talia and Corey Evans at fullback. Stephen Perifetta, like I mentioned, on the bench, along with Javi Taeli. I got that wrong first round that he played. I'm not going to get it wrong again. Javi Taeli. And the rest of the bench looks really strong as well, with Angus Ta'avao, Cameron Suafua, and Andrew Choate, and Sam Nock as the 9 reserve. As far as prediction goes for this game, I do believe that the Blues have been coming off such a poor run of form, and they've been really struggling, that I think this is the game where they turn around. There's something that makes me feel about the return of some of these strong players. You can't simply just ignore their absolute dominance last year. And although it's been rocky, I do think that despite the Hurricanes absolutely romping the Waratahs last week, that's not a great preparation to be able to put you into a tough game like this. So the Blues at home. The final game of the round is the Western Force hosting the Highlanders. This is the last game before the Western Force go on a bye, and they are going to need it because they have been working their asses off. They've been traveling far and wide, but they really do need this win before they go on a bye, and then they're going to go on a run against the New Zealand side. So they're going to have to claim this win at home. They must win their games at home if they want to make that top 6 position, because it is a lot harder than making the top 8. So in their side, it is almost unchanged. You've only got Violini Ekuasi coming at number 8, and that means that you've got Will Harris shifting to number 6, and you've got, Nick Champion to Krepny Chips switching to number 6, and then you've got Carlo Tizzano at number 7. You've also got Brandon Paying-Amosa coming in at the number 2 jersey, so he's the starting hooker, with Nick Dolly dropping back to the bench. You've got Jeremy Williams and Darcy Swain in the second row, and they're going to be pivotal for this weekend, because as we saw last weekend, they were absolute pests at the line out, and the Reds won 50% of their own line out ball. Now, if they can rob the Highlanders of that much ball, then they are going to see the Highlanders drop more and more tackles, because the Highlanders are one of the best and most dominant tackling sides in the competition. You don't simply go through or over this Highlanders side. They are extremely tough. From the deep south, they are going to be gunning for this, and they're going to try to get an upset win away from home. I think also for the Western Force, they are going to have to be really, really, really careful about thinking, oh, this is too hard going through the middle, we're going to go out wide. Because when you get out wide, you've got players like Timothy Tamatava-Nawa, who's playing 12. You've got Thomas Tumunga-Allen, who's Thomas Umaga-Jensen at outside center, who are both absolutely ruthless in defense. And then, as we know this, Timothy Tamatava-Nawa is a great turnover merchant, so he's going to be lurking out there in the wider channels. Obviously, Caleb Tangitau is a massive try-scoring machine, and it's going to be a big job for Harry Potter and Dylan Peach, the Western Force wingers, to contain that sort of attacking prowess. Sam Gilbert at the back's got a really big boot, so Mac Greeley is going to have to be on his A game, and he's going to have to be able to take the high balls as well as chase back and cover a lot of dirt to be able to prevent Sam Gilbert and also the rest of the backs, because we know that Tavatava-Nawa can kick, to be able to get those easy meters in territory win. Now, for the Western Force, I think it's really important that they actually focus on playing territory. Ben Donald's going to have to be smart, because you can't just run into a brick wall forever. So there's going to have to be moments of little chip kicks, little kicks in behind, big long drills, and they're going to make sure that Harry Potter and Dylan Peach are going to be chasing those balls all day. Now, on the Highlander side, they have a pretty much unchanged side. They've got Sean Withy, they're the captain at number 8. You've got TK Howden, and you've got TK Howden and Lasanga on the flanks, and then you've got Ethan de Groot back, which is their really big weapon, and we all know that the Western Force have been struggling with their scrums over the last couple of weeks. Brandon Pangamosa being back in the starting side is going to help the starting scrum, but nevertheless, it is a really big worry, and so someone like Ethan de Groot could turn the momentum on its head or regain momentum if the Highlanders are finding themselves in a bit of a pickle. So that All Black inclusion is no joke, so that is going to be really, really important for them. He's alongside Vakena and Sully Mal, and that is a powerful and good front row. The Force are going to have to be on their guard, and let's hope that Simon Cron is able to do some work with his forwards over this week, leading into the bye week next week. As far as a prediction goes, you're going to be worried about the prospects of Jonah Nareki and Caleb Tangitau on the Highlanders wing, as well as being outside Timothy Tavatava-Nawa. The forwards will do their job. They're solid. They're rocks. They're solid as rocks. They're safe as houses. But the Western Force have shown they can go through and around sides and carve them up. So as far as prediction goes, because it is at home, and I'm going with a lot of safe bets here because it is at home, it's a lot of home ground advantages. Nevertheless, the Western Force will know that if they give this absolutely all, they will go off onto their bye week, well deserved, and they'll be able to recharge and be able to go forward into the competition with momentum. The Highlanders, they are in a very similar position, that they've lost a couple now on the trot. They're not doing too well, and they're going to be wanting to pinch this one because they can see this as one of the few away games that they can absolutely have a dig at and have a crack at. Result, nevertheless, I do think will go to the Western Force. But there you have it. That's my predictions for the week. I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. As always, throw me a like and a subscribe. Help me grow the channel, then I can bring you guys more rugby content. We're looking to get some more interviews over the coming weeks, and we'll be looking also to be doing some live streams of games. So round 9, round 10, round 11. Let's see how those go. So if you want to comment below what you want to see in those, that'd be great. But enjoy your weekend of rugby. I'll be doing an analysis and a wrap video on Sunday. Always remember, you can find me here on Off the Ruck or at Rugby Pass, and also on Twitter at John B. Fergo. Anyways, enjoy the game of rugby, enjoy the weekend of rugby, and I'll be there with you, and I'll see you on Sunday. Till next time.